In this video, I'm going to show you one type of trade, a very specific setup that is the closest to an infinite money glitch. And the numbers speaks for themselves. Look at the profit of the largest commodity trading companies. This is pure insanity. And on top of that, most of those companies are privately owned. They are owned by families and employees. They must be doing something right. So today I'm going to walk you through a few examples of those setups and also explain at my small level how I'm building them in my portfolio of commodity companies so you can replicate them, even with little money. Cool? I'm a bit ashamed to say it, but even though I've been in commodity trading for more than a decade, it's only recently that I fully understood the power of this setup. All right, I've teased it enough. So what I'm going to talk about is the power of
desert power.
the power of assets. Commodity trading firms have understood it for years. The only way to sustain higher margin than the market is to have well-placed assets. Assets that will allow you to unlock a region. Physical commodity trading is about moving from where the commodity is produced to where the commodity is consumed. So if you can be the bottleneck of the flow, you'll make an absurd sum of money. I knew that theoretically, that you need assets well placed to make a lot of money. But honestly, I've always worked in pure players, so commodity trading firm without assets. So I've never seen how much of a difference it makes. And maybe this is also your case. So let me tell you my personal story of how I came up with this realization, so then you can fully grasp it. But before I forget, just to be clear, when we speak about assets in commodity trading, it's not only heavy production assets such as mines, oil refineries, farmland, but it's primarily infrastructure assets such as storage facilities, grain silo, onshore oil tanks, warehouse at port terminals, and so on. So the other day, a friend called me and he was like extremely excited. He said like, look Damien, I have a slam dunk. I mean, this type of deal, you don't see them in a lifetime. This is a slam dunk. I mean, you need to help me. I need diesel and EN, I don't even remember the other product, but it was like a fuel product. And he explained to me that he has a friend which owns a lot of petrol stations in his country. And usually he buys the product from a refinery nearby, but at that time the refinery is in care and maintenance. So that means that he needs to import the product from somewhere else, and the guy doesn't really know how to do so. I mean, he doesn't really care. As basically my friend that called me up was the friend of the guy that had the petrol station, and the guy that had the petrol station knew that my friend had a commodity trading company. He just called him and said, look man, we're good friends, so can you just deliver diesel and the EN5 or whatever other product? So I was like, it looks like a really good opportunity. If you're telling me that your friend is a real guy that really needs it and is willing to buy from you, man, that's maybe a slam dunk, you're right. Let me make few calls. So basically what I did is like I called a bunch of friends that worked in the big commodity trading firm in Geneva and I explained to them the situation. I said, look, I don't know shit about this product. I mean, you know me, this is not what I do, but here, this is a setup, this is a story, what do you think? And they were like, yeah man, it's true, everything that you say is true, so maybe there is an opportunity, let me see if I can give you like a SIF quote. I was quite excited by this, honestly. So I got the quote and then we were like, okay, now we need tankers, onshore tankers to offload the product to then deliver it to the client. So my friend started to call all the onshore tanks that could take the product, and he basically called the whole region. So everywhere in that region, he called all the port, all the people that he knew that had onshore tanks, he called them all. And basically what happened is nobody was willing to lend us their tanks. So basically there were no ways for us to offload the product. So we couldn't do the deal. So otherwise we could have used train, but with a train it was too expensive, and then there were other people that would be more competitive than us, so it made no sense. So yeah, the only way was really to send a small vessel and unload it at a port nearby, but unfortunately it was impossible to do the deal because of a logistic constraint. So I was like, okay, this is not too late as I'm going to be an oil trader. But yeah, man, I mean, there's nothing that we can do. And my friend was like, yeah, you're right. I mean, that sucks. But you know, this story like stuck in my head. I was like, okay, we got because we had no logistic assets to unload the product. So I kept this idea in mind.
A few moments later.
Then a few months later, we were working on a Bitumen deal with Gambar Energy, one of my companies. And if you've been following this channel for a while, I'm pretty sure you know about Gambar Energy. But basically in that company, we trade mostly wood pellet. And wood pellet is a winter product. I mean, that is, people burn wood pellet during the winter, and during the summer, there is not much to do. So I was like, okay. So with my business partner, we were like, if we can do bitumen during the summer, because obviously you build road during the summer and wood pellet during the winter, it will be a perfect combination. So let's deep dive into bitumen and try to make something out of it. And so we worked a lot, we spoke with a lot of people in the region. And then I remember that one of my old shipping and commodity academy students worked for Vitol on the bitumen desk. And I was like, why didn't I think about him earlier than that? So I called him up and basically he explained everything. He explained like everything about how the market works. You know, it was like a bit of a fresh air, you know, to have like a real professional that really could explain like, oh, okay, so this is everything that happened in the bitumen market. So this is what guys you need to look at. This is where I think there is an opportunity. And we discussed. And after a while, he explained to us like, look guys, in reality, the name of the game in the bitumen market is to get the storage. Because if you have the storage, it's, I mean, quite specific storage. Because, you know, if the bitumen get cold, then I don't know the name in English. Anyway, so it's to have those storage. And he also explained that he knew people that had those special storage units. He knew that those guys were making a killing loading bitumen during the winter when the price was low and reselling during the summer and making millions every year. And the only edge that has those guys over their competition is that they were the only one with that specific storage capacity in that region. And obviously, if you are from Europe, you know that now if you want to touch anything related to fossil fuel, it's almost impossible to build it in Europe. So if you have those old assets with the license and everything, then it's like a monopoly and it's a way to print money. So then I was like, again, in less than 1 month, the logistic part is what makes or breaks the deal. So the idea with this story is to show you the importance of having the full supply chain in mind when you start trading a new product. The BYFOB sell-sieve times are over. You are not going to build a sizable company like that. It's over. We live in the WhatsApp era. The world is flat. You need something else over your competition. I mean, even a dirty old warehouse where you can stock product, repack it, would do the trick. Look at this warehouse. It's from a former client years ago in Africa. Just by owning this very light asset, my former client could capture market that others can't. Obviously, this is not the same level of capture than a fully fledged storage facility at a crowded port in Europe, but still, this brings me to the last point of my video, how I try to build those assets in my portfolio companies, even with limited means. Because honestly, I was not completely stupid. I understood a while back that the FOB, SIF commodity trading firms are gone and that I needed to do something more as a trader in today's environment. But I didn't realize how much extra margin you can squeeze with the right assets. So at the moment of recording of this video, in terms of assets, we control in Democratic Republic of Congo 2 different scrap yards, one in Kolwezi and one in Lubumbashi. And scrap yards are basically wasteland where we store, cut, clean and load trucks that are going to export the product. And without those, you cannot really do the trade that we do. And I know that it could sound like very small. You have a garden and this is what you call an asset. And yeah, actually, man, go to South DRC and then try to do what we do. And then you tell me if it's easy. In Romania, with Gambar Energy, our plan is to buy a warehouse, so then it can help us with the distribution and also maybe put some light packaging machine inside, so we'll see. And then in South Africa, we have wash plant facilities. There, the plants are not ours, but we have like long-term agreement with the owner. Obviously, down the line, we want to build our own, but first we need to prove to ourselves and also to future investors that we can execute the plan. Because we are not in startup world, you know. If someone give us $5 million US, we are going to give back those $5 million US with babies. Okay, that's what we do. We always give back money. So we need to make sure that we know exactly how we are going to do that. So this is why we do the track record with our own equity and then we raise financing. And this is also something that I want you to have in mind. Is there an asset somewhere that you can rent, lend on a long-term horizon? So is there like an old owner tired of using it, tired of working, that you can just pay a monthly fees to use the asset? There are. So try to look around. I'm pretty sure there are. Also, one thing, if you just need like warehouse spaces, look around. I'm pretty sure you will find another company that you can strike a quite simple deal with them. It's like if there are extra spaces in their warehouse, maybe you can rent these extra spaces with all their equipment for your own product. It's not unheard of. This is something that I did in the past. So, you know, for the company that have too much space, they're like, okay, I mean, for us, it makes us a little bit of money. And our people at the warehouse, they don't work like 8 hours a day. So if you want to load and reload your product, no problem. We can agree on a price. There are a lot of assets that you can use if you think a little bit out of the box. All right, that's it for me today. I hope that you liked the video and that you learned something. And if you want to break into the world of commodity trading, check the first link in the description below. You will land on the Shipping and Commodity Academy. Ciao.